Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Set with Bike 198, and today we are actually going to talk about the top 17 tools that you should have in your toolbox to be able to work on your bike. So before we get started on talking about all these tools, I wanted to let you know all the links are down in the description below. So if you want to take a quick look and just see what we're going to talk about today, take a quick glance, go ahead, like this video, and subscribe if you are not subscribed to Bike 198, and let's get into the actual list. So number one is a repair stand. Yes, you can get away with not having a repair stand to work on your bike, but the reality is it's a lot easier to work on your bike if you have a really good repair stand, one that doesn't sag and one that holds the bike up in an area where you can actually work on it. Can you work on a bike without a repair stand? Absolutely, but it's going to take you a lot longer and you're going to get a lot more frustrated. So the first thing I always tell everyone to buy is a repair stand that can hold your bike so that you can work on it very easily. So the second tool that is a must-have is a 3-way hex wrench. So why the 3-way hex wrench? Because it has a 4mm, 5mm, and 6mm hex wrench on this tri-spoke tool that covers basically 99% of what's on your bike. So that makes it incredibly easy to use, it makes it compact, and it makes it a very useful tool to work on just about anything you need to work on, whether it be axles, derailleurs, or anything else. It's right there, easy to use, and very cheap to have. So I am a firm believer in having the tools that you need to get your maintenance done correctly. And that comes down to your cassette, chain, and other wear items that you are going to have to replace at some point in time. So the third tool on this list is actually the cassette ring tool. What this is a small tool that goes into the outside of your cassette ring and actually allows it to screw back off the hub. You cannot use anything else to get the cassette off, so you have to have this tool to get it done. It's incredibly cheap and it's easy to use. So if you're going to be replacing your cassette, or you're going to be doing maintenance on your cassette or your hubs or your wheels or anything else, you need to be able to get that cassette off. So it's a must-have on this list for sure. So number 4 actually goes hand in hand with the cassette ring tool. You need a chain whip. And what this does is keep the free hub from moving while you're trying to remove the cassette from the hub. If you try to remove the cassette with just that cassette tool, the free hub is going to spin. So you need the chain whip to actually hold the cassette still while you unscrew it from the hub itself. So number 5 on the list is a chain tool. I actually use the one that's on my multi-tool, which is not ideal for sure because there are a lot better ones out there on the market. But if you're going to be replacing your chain or working on your chain, you need to be able to insert and extract those pins to be able to size the chain or fix it in the case of like a breakage. Number 6, Master Link pliers. Back in the day, you didn't need these because it wasn't as tight of a fit, but these days you actually need a tool that will actually crimp that out of the chain itself. The Master Links have been a great innovation in mountain biking where you can actually repair your chain on the trail, but to use it in real life, in your garage, you really need a set of those pliers to make it a lot easier to get it out and resize your chain. So number 7 on the list is a cable housing and cable cutter. These are very specific tools that are designed to cut your cable and then cut your housing and actually round the housing out so they can safely feed the cable through it. Yes, you could do this with a pair of snips, but it's a lot easier when you have the dedicated tool. And the reason for this is because it's designed to actually round out that housing and make it easy to run cables through. Number 8, and this one's really obvious, a multi-tool. A multi-tool not only helps you out on the trail, but it can help you out at home too if you just happen to not have one of those dedicated tools in your toolbox. So carry your multi-tool with you out on the trail so that you can make necessary repairs if something goes wrong. So also just use it at home, just in case you don't have something readily available, you'll have it on that multi-tool. And number 9, lubricant. Whether that be chain lube or regular grease that you get from Park Tool, you have to have lubricant to keep your bike running correctly. That means every single metal-to-metal contact. So if you're replacing your fork back in after a service, or if you're lubing your chain to go back out on the next ride, you need to have general lubricant and chain lubricant to keep your bike running efficiently and noise-free. And now we're at 10. And that's a floor pump and a portable pump. You need a portable pump on the trail just in case you need to increase or decrease air pressure out on the trail. And you need an accurate floor pump at the house that you can also bring with you into your car and inflate or deflate your tires when you get to the trailhead. Now, these pumps are notoriously inaccurate when it comes to PSI in your tires. So number 11 on this list is actually a digital tire gauge. That will make sure that no matter which pump you're using, you are to that accurate measurement every time you go to ride. All right, so number 12, we need a torque wrench. This is one of the most overlooked tools that anyone ever buys for the toolbox. One, because they're not cheap. A good torque wrench is expensive, but every single bolt on your bike has a torque specification that it should be tightened to. If you do not do it to the correct torque specification, it can actually get damaged or your bike can break. So having a simple, good torque wrench is a must-have in your toolbox if you're planning to work on your bike at all. Number 13, tire levers. Now, everyone has a set of tire levers, but I prefer these ones from Park that actually have a metal band inside of them with a plastic outer covering. When it comes to the latest tires that are tubeless and have really thick sidewalls, using plastic tire levers can literally just bend and almost break when you're trying to get a tire onto a wheel. So get yourself a really good set of tire levers. They're light enough to carry on the trail, and they also will last over time with these tires that are a lot harder to put on rims than they were in the past. So number 14, a spoke wrench. Now I know what you're thinking. I do not want to work on wheels. And trust me, I don't build my own wheels. I let other people that are a lot better at that do that for me. However, there are going to be times that you either need to replace one spoke or you just need to tighten up a couple spokes when you have an accident. It's good to have a spoke wrench that is ready to go, that you can just tighten those up and you can get on to riding. The wait list on getting wheels fixed can be long. Weeks, 2 weeks, especially with bike shops backed up the way they are right now. It is good to have a spoke wrench on hand. The lucky thing is that I still use the one off of my multi-tool. So you can buy a dedicated set or you can use the one on your multi-tool. So number 15 is actually given to you with almost every single fork, or every single bike kit, and that's a shock pump. Most of our suspension, unless you're getting to actual coil suspension, is all driven by air. So you need to have an accurate shock pump to be able to set your pressures every time you get to the trailhead. So like the tire pressure gauge, those gauges on those shock pumps are not incredibly efficient. So what you need to do is just get your starting point, then use your sag on your shocks themselves to get it set. So number 16, you need tubeless sealant and a patch kit. So I use orange for my sealant and Dynaplug for my actual puncture kits. But when we're running tubeless, you have to have enough sealant that you can actually refill when it's needed. And you also need a tire puncture kit when you're out on the trail in case you get a hole that is too big for the sealant to fix. So number 17, and it's probably the most annoying tool I have in my toolbox, is that T25 Torx that you have to use for the rotors on your mountain bike. They always slip, the free ones always suck, so it's really a good idea to actually get a legit bit for the rotors on your bike. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with cut up knuckles every time they slip, along with a stripped bolt. So guys, those are my top 17 tools that you need in your box at all times just to keep your bike up and running. If there's anything I missed, let me know down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to Bike 198 for more videos like this in the future. And until then, on the next one. Thanks guys. See you.